Yeah, I want to do one more video. So there's a lot of talk in the news, obviously, about the war between Ukraine and Russia. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I mean, some people will say, well, the Russians were trying to protect the Russian citizens within Ukraine. And we all know, right, all these borders, they're made by politicians, made by outsiders. They're not real. They're not based on people's ethnicity. You know, there's all kinds of violence going on where different people live in different countries, like Nigeria, for example. You know, we all know about the Balkans, so I'm not going to talk about that. But what I'm interested in is what difference will the conflict make to boxing? Because this is a boxing channel. Now, so you've had the Klitschko's come out straight and say in this video, and it's cringe, man. Like I did a piss take of it, but I'm not that great a one. But you know, I tried. And you know, they're saying this as follows. So listen to this.
I'm calling to all the international partners to observe this strategy that is happening nowadays in Ukraine and this senseless war, which is not going to have any winners but losers. I just want to tell you, we must stay united against this aggression, against Russian aggression. Don't let it happen, continue happening in Ukraine. Don't let it happening in Europe and eventually in the world. United, we're strong. Support Ukraine. Thank you.
Now, I mean, as if that's going to change anything. A couple of boxers. I know Vitaly is I think the mayor of Kiev. They've changed the way you can say it these days, which is weird. And it means they have some kind of ulterior motive. And you know, they're saying, oh, please, we need to stop this. There can be no winners, only losers. There'll be cases of it. Yeah, completely. I mean, war is generally between bankers, yeah, international bankers, and people who are desperate for power. It's not about the people at all. The people are expendable and they get wasted. That's every major war. And you'll look at and find out how often international banks will, you know, lend money to both sides, both countries in a war because, you know, they don't lose, man. You know, and the people that own the manufacturing companies for, you know, tanks, shells, war implements, you know, they're making a lot of money. Unfortunately, the reality is they're laughing while everyone's slaughtering themselves. So it's a bit pathetic to expect that, oh, people are going to go, oh yeah, Vladimir. Well, actually, Vitaly doesn't say anything. He just tries to look hard. But they would be like, oh, Vladimir, yeah, you're so right. We don't need to do this. Let's all be friends. You know, it's pathetic, man. It's like John Lennon. But I mean, the main interest is obviously Alexander Usyk is Ukrainian, but he hasn't really spoken that much about the conflict. You know, I don't know. There are plenty of Ukrainians who have Russian ancestry. He actually would rather be part of Russia. I don't know if he's one, but he has not been outspoken there. The other thing is, well, if your country's been attacked, are the Ukrainian government going to declare a conscription and that everyone within a certain age, within a fighting age, has to be conscripted and fight Russia? Well, then, you know, if they do, well, that would include Usyk. But on the other hand, you're like, well, I mean, they wouldn't want Usyk to get killed because he's a big star. But I don't know where he stands, you know? I don't know where he stands. Is he on the Russian side? Is he on the Ukrainian side? Does he have both? Does he not want to commit to either side? Probably. That's the most likely. But obviously he's got rematch scheduled with Anthony Joshua. Now, I would imagine if I was in Joshua's camp, you know, I'd be really happy about this stuff. You know, he'd be like, hopefully I've got a reason to get out of a Usyk rematch because of the war and because Usyk will be involved in some kind of action in that war, and he can't commit to a fight, thankfully. So I don't have to get beaten up by Usyk again, because he embarrassed me in front of my people. He made me a bottom, you know. He smashed me up in front of my own peeps, yeah. And although AKA Skins wasn't there because they've broken up, but this could suit Joshua weirdly. This could suit Joshua weirdly, so he doesn't have to fight Usyk. He can wait for the winner of White Fury, which is likely to be Fury, and then fight Fury for a huge purse, and then come out after he's been beaten up and admit he's a Batman, yeah. To admit that he is committed to a batty business, and then come out after he's been beaten up, and then he's got endless kind of Philip Schofield type interviews and books, and all these kind of like promotional stuff with all these weird corporations that think the batty business is great, and so Josh is probably sitting there rubbing his hands that he won't have to go through with the rematch.